Hello and welcome to the News Review program with me, Fatu Kamara, and I have my co-host,
Omar Wali.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to another program. We would look at the newspapers for you, and right after that we'll bring you interviews. We actually were supposed to have 3 live interviews, but 2 of them actually don't think they'll be able to make it. We're still waiting on one that could be possible, but we're going to go ahead with the show and see how it goes, and if they come in, then we will bring them on the program. We would like to welcome you to this program. It's Monday, June the 25th, 2018. Welcome to the program. The Standard newspaper says that the UDP coordinator condemns booing Dabo at the Faraba Banta. That was actually last week, and when we went to Faraba Banta, we had a meeting. We actually had an interview with the people there, and they did say to us that if Dabo were to go over there now, they definitely will not boo Dabo. They would welcome him because at that time tensions were high. This is why when I saw this interview, I'm like, journalists, we always like digging up stuff. But this actually was gone, and the people were saying that if Dabo goes back there again, he would be welcome. As you all can see, President Barrow was there on Friday. He performed Friday prayers, Juma prayers with them, and also had a meeting, and he was welcomed. And they did say that if Dabo is to go over there again, he would not have any problems. So the Safe Fears violence in Kundang Jafare land dispute, that's the Saifo of Nyamina East, Alaji Keba, also saying that there could be violence, and now he is calling on the government to go over there and see how they can help in settling these disputes. I was saying to myself, when did all of this start coming out? Actually, today in my office, we got another information about some land issue at Makumbaya and also at Lamin. They're also saying if the government did not step up, it could get ugly. And it's the same situation right now that we're reading in this newspaper in Kundang Jafari. There is also a land dispute over there. And we cannot afford dictatorship. That's what the Defadoi group is saying. They had a protest yesterday at Westfield. It was at 3 o'clock. I had a press conference prior to that. And they are saying that we cannot afford to have another dictatorship in Gambia. This came after the killing of the Faraba 3, and also about so many other issues that they talked about, they complained about. But we have Aliuba. Later on, we'll talk to him about this whole protest and if what they wanted was achieved. And my party is saying I am committed to 3 years coalition agreement. That is also on the newspaper. May is saying that you know what makes a human being and serves your legacy is to respect and honor your commitment. So he is saying, okay, I do not have a problem with whether it's 5 or 10 or 40, but if we agreed on 3, the best thing would be to come out and say, oh, we're going to meet first, and then after the meeting, maybe then you can decide how you want to go about it, and then say, at least meet with the people and come and talk to them before we go ahead and do 5. Well, actually, that is my Fati on the Standard newspaper. And Turkish Airlines is to fly Istanbul Banjul twice weekly, and that is coming in November. That's the word that out there. But we understand that the Turkish ambassador was at the Makati Square. No, it's not July now. It's Makati. At the Makati Square in Banjul on Friday. And he did say that was when they were inaugurating some new buses. He did say there that Turkish Airlines is to fly Istanbul Banjul twice weekly. And there's information that this is starting in November. The Voice newspaper, Faraba victims laid to rest. They were actually laid to rest on Saturday after autopsy and was carried out on them at the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. So Turkey government donates 20 buses to Gambia government. That was where the Turkish ambassador was speaking. And fast track the security sector reform, Defadoi campaign. That's what they're saying. Like I said, we will talk about all of that. Aliuba is here. The government leader calls on Faraba community to reconcile. That was President Barrow at Faraba on Friday. Omar and I will talk about that when he was speaking, and most of everything that he said was taken out of context. And I can see a voicemail, or what do they call it, voice note on social media saying that Barrow said he sacrificed his son, which is very insensitive, for people to go around sharing that. We'll talk about that later. And Faraba incident was the saddest. That's what the Point newspaper The point is saying that Barrow said that the Faraba incident was the saddest day of his presidency. That's on the Point newspaper. And he also has the Turkish government donates 20 buses to Gambia. And we don't want this incident to happen anywhere ever again. That's referring to the Faraba incident. And of course, Turkish Airlines to begin direct flights to Banjul. That's coming hopefully in November. For our newspaper, slain protesters finally laid to rest. That was on Saturday when the 3 were laid to rest. 4 military detainees released on bail is also on the Standard, and plans to demolish many homes. I hope that sensitization is done, or at least talk to them before the demolition starts, because sometimes that could help fan down so many other issues. So President visits Faraba Banta is also on the paper, and Gambia Daily News, no compromise over environmental depletion. That's the NEA bus speaking. And Turkey gives MPs visit Golden 20 buses. Turkey gives 20 buses, and MPs visit Golden Lead Fish Meal Company. So that's all in the newspapers. Thank you all. So Omar Wali, you have an interview with Jaliba, right?
Yes. He also was part of the delegation that visited Faraba Banta. Mm-hmm. And shortly after the meeting, I caught up with him. He was actually driving and asked him to stop to share his impression with us about the meeting that took place. So I think we can listen to the interview now. Jaliba Kuyate.
If 1 gigabyte of internet data for free.
Really?
Yes. Get 1 gigabyte for free just by replacing your SIM card at any Africell outlet with no loss of contact. The cost of bundle from the 3G SIM card is the same for the 4G SIM. And guess what? With the 4G SIM card, you can also connect to the 3G network as well.
This is so cool.
So what is your impression about this visit?
According to him, we are all shocked about the incident. People died here during the incident. So many people are hospitalized who are still in hospital. Well, we've had the narrations from both sides. And they were well explained. I'm sure from now onward, we're going to be very careful so that such a thing will not happen anymore. And as we hear from the Faraba people, they are on the stand to pardon each other, come back to bring about oneness again. That's a good thing. This is what I will always tell everybody from Faraba or elsewhere. If you look at the way I compose certain songs, I'm out to give preachings that we should endeavor to forgive each other, befriend each other, and move on peacefully. So I am impressed about the President's deliberations.
Thank you so much, sir.
Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real Africell 4G SIM and receive 1 gigabyte of internet data for free.
Really?
Yes. Get 1 gigabyte for free just by replacing your SIM card at any Africell outlet with no loss of contact. The cost of bundle from the 3G SIM card is the same for the 4G SIM. And guess what? With the 4G SIM card, you can also connect to the 3G network as well.
This is so cool. I'll replace my 3G SIM card right away to the real 4G SIM and receive my very own 1 gigabyte for free.
From Africell, it's always real and it's for free.
Where Africell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Okay, that was Jaliba Kuyate speaking right there at Faraba Banta on Friday when the president visited Faraba and performed Friday prayers with them, and also had a meeting with the community. Omar Wali, Jaliba did say he thinks what the president did was a great thing to do.
Yeah, you know, Jaliba is also the UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. So he was among several other people who were invited to attend the event, and also I think his presence was very important there. like he said, he always sing in his songs and about peace, reconciliation, and unity. So,
okay. And we've also seen that the president was there, and you were there as well to cover this event. How was it received in Faraba itself? Like, I know on social media, a lot of people expressed, happiness that it was good that the president went there, and then now it looks like he's listening to the people. But for the people of Faraba, how did they receive him?
Open hands. According to them, they were the people who are even telling other fellow villagers that they don't want any more violence in the village. They want villagers to what had happened, so they should not result to any violence, like they were burning down compounds and so on. And he had a fruitful discussion. Before coming out from the mosque, he had a closed meeting there, and he ended up coming out, and the whole village was there, and they spoke, and he said, like he said that was published in the papers, that was the saddest day in his life when he took over as the president of this country. He also gave examples that so many things happens when he took over this country. He was away, and his even son died in his absence, and so on. I think that was, like you said, taken out of context. Yeah,
that part I think it was very unfair to him. We know what he wanted to say. What he wanted, the sound is like it's echoing. I'm sorry, we just put that volume down a little bit. I think what he was trying to say is that he lost a son, during the process. Because if you look at it this way, the president was in Dakar when this happened, because that kind of like moved his family apart.
Right.
Because at that time, I think the wives were at a different home, and the son was with the auntie, and the president was in Dakar. I think it was a very difficult time for the family, because they were all not together. They were all at different places. I think that's what he was trying to explain. But, people took that out of context, saying that he sacrificed his son. I think that would be very painful for any parent to listen to that kind of thing. It must be really tough. It was a good move. Like I said, the president showed leadership. Two issues, though, that I think he could work on next time. Taking a red carpet all the way there, I don't think that was necessary. I know that what they could have done, yes, he's the president, he's VIP, they could have made that place comfortable for him on his side, or maybe on the front row or something. But taking a whole red carpet, putting it in the whole mosque, when these people, they had a situation at that time, their family members died.
Well, before you go further, I think there was no red carpet there.
There was a red carpet at the mosque. We had a picture of that being when they were spreading it and all of that.
No, what happened was they are building a mosque. So they said the one they are building, the one they are using is not enough. So that's why they took the carpet, so the new one, so that they can accommodate.
The red carpet was moved to where the president was going on that day, on that Friday.
The other mosque, there is no carpet there. They're using this mat. So when he went there, they said because that's a small one and they're building a new mosque.
Yeah.
So they took some carpet.
That's what I'm saying. They're taking it and moving it.
Yeah,
I think it was at the wrong time. We understand, but the fact that this is a difficult situation. I saw the red carpet and I saw the chairs. Because that's what Jammeh used to do. When we were working there, everywhere he was going, they take new chairs and put for him there. And when you look at it, I think those are all things that they could look into. This is all PR. People will appreciate that more than having him going, they're spreading red carpet and also having to change the chairs and putting in different ones for him to sit. Yes. I think that's all too mansaya.
I understand that. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
They did not have carpets there, so they took carpets so that the delegation and other people can go and pray.
The red carpet that they took there, that's what I'm saying. It was unnecessary to put all, because then again you're saying it was not ready and the people don't pray there, they pray at the other one. Yeah. So now do they have to move it again and take it to the old one?
No, this is a special carpet.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So they could have just let that be, use the one that they use, or at least let that one be how it is. It's just modesty. That's what I'm saying. That way we can have the president he will show that I'm sorry about what happened. This is really sad. I would use what you all use. I would pray where you pray, and I don't want you to treat me anyhow. Maybe he didn't ask for it. It's the villagers. But I'm saying some things like that next time, it would be good if they just let everything be normal. He's a normal human being, and he's very different from Jammeh. Jammeh was putting himself up, and Barrow seems to be a very modest person. And also the other thing was the chair that they have to move. I don't think that was also necessary. And other than that, he showed leadership. This time, definitely, I think the Gambians say that this is what they were looking for in President Barrow all this while, and he showed that.
Yes, I think they have been like this, always this mantra, this is long overdue. Other political leaders were there, like we have seen the APRC and the other GDC also was there. And even Bakari Badji and the team delegation also went there. My Fati and Usainu Dabo also visited. So, put quite simply, the tension is cooled down now. They have turned a new page, the villages. So, and they even said they have reconciled now.
Yeah, and we've also seen that, some part of where he was speaking, I know he's president, but he's also a human being. And sometimes we all do that. We go out angry and say things. But when he said Sulu Saji Mal, I think that is overboard. If I were him, and Mr. President, don't be talking like that. We understand, but don't mind about those things. They happen. Everybody will have stuff against you here and there, but you finish so good. But when you said that, that kind of like was like you throwing shade. Sulu Saji Malu, I think that was very unnecessary. That's how I see it. And I know it's hard. You know, sometimes I would tell a lot of people, don't respond, don't say this. But I do respond myself. But still, you are the president. Okay, so now we have Aliuba here in the studio. Aliuba, welcome to the program. I don't know how they even know you are here. Before you finish, I saw people sending messages talking about Aliuba already.
Yeah, because I think the camera showed me once. But yeah, regardless, I'm happy to be here.
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so how did the protest go?
It was successful. Yeah, because for us it was not about anything except to make a statement that democracy has to be lived. It has to be real, it has to be practiced, and we were able to achieve that by going out despite the odds. I mean, we had faced a lot of odds. There are a lot of threats that I received, that others received, on all the going back and forth with the government. But regardless, we still went ahead and we staged our protest, and then we did what we could, you know, and I think for me that was a major success, you know, considering how the society in this country, how protest is viewed as a way of destroying the society. That when we talk about protest has been equated with violence, and that becomes very problematic when we have a discourse like that. Left to a lot of Gambians, there will never be a protest in this country ever until kingdom come, you know. So I think for us to defy all of that and to come out, and you know, I've been called all type of names. I mean, you know that, but you know, what we are doing is a higher calling, higher than myself. I mean, I could be sensitive and be like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to speak out. I'm not going to do anything. But sometimes we have to lose our sense of self.
I said, tell Ali not to hold cigarette when he was talking. Were you holding a cigarette?
Yes, I was. I do smoke.
So you guys don't like it? Like he was smoking?
I was not smoking weed. I was smoking cigarette, which is perfectly legal. And I was not within people. I was outside people. So I was not public smoking either.
My people, I'm loving this new Gambia. So you can,
it is
like
amazing.
They will tell you don't smoke when you speak. Don't hold a cigarette. So all of that. But Ali, you did say but actually the good thing for this one is they never said someone is behind it, because I was the one said to be behind the other one. Westfield. Yes, but at least this one you didn't hear.
No, they did.
Oh,
actually, they did. They said that they're dishing us cash, and that somebody was like, why would you even do all of this and try to kill yourself with all the threats you receive? Somebody said he's going to come to Westfield and stab me in the thigh. He said he doesn't want to kill me. He wants to stab me in the thigh so I can stop walking around trying to destabilize the country. That's and a whole bunch of people called me and saying, they are going to kill me. They're going to come to Westfield. And so somebody was like, why would you do all this if you are not sponsored? You know, and a lot of people have doing statements around Facebook and other social media outlets to say that we are sponsored. There is money coming in. That's why we are doing this. You know, because that's when I think about it, it's a very retarded, backward way of thinking. Because when the struggle against Jammeh was happening, it was the same thing. They said Fadu and his people, they've been sponsored. That's why they're doing
someone
this.
Someone said they said Coach and I were behind it.
Yes.
So when are Gambians going to understand that we live in a democracy? Nobody's going to be behind anything. If anything happens, people are going to be up in the front. But I think it's a thinking for some people. Like when it gets tough and they can't defend themselves and they don't know how to handle a situation, the easiest thing to do is someone is behind it.
Yes.
Because that kind of takes responsibility off them.
And also I think it's a matter of we have a low self-esteem problem, and we have a sheer lack of confidence in Gambians, that Gambians cannot be this smart, they cannot be this creative, they cannot be this defiant. It has to be from somewhere. You know, ñun dañ help suñ boppa. You know, that's, I mean, when you look at it, it's like when I speak and somebody's like, oh, how are you able, did you live in this country your whole time? Like, how do you sound so smart? I'm like, I don't even sound smart. Somebody who speaks good English is not a measure of being smart. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that there are young people in this country who do really care about this country, that we really do care. We think that if we don't stand up today and say, we are not accusing this government of anything. We are just saying that enough is enough. Stop the indifference, and that this government should not be a crisis-driven response-only government with the 3 dashes in between. You know, because this government only responds when there is crisis. I mean, yes, Barrow's move going to Faraba is very commendable. You know, the fact that he showed face and he spoke to them in their language that they can understand, is commendable. But you don't respond to people. If they had responded to them prior, all the protests they did before this, then this would not have happened. It is not, you know, all these fatalistic religious overbearings that we're hearing. Oh, yala, affaire yala, la sen dogali. No, it's not dogali yala. You are put on this earth to take care of it. So if they had taken care of this situation, this would not have happened today. You know, these people have been protesting for months. The least you could do is listen to them, not arrest them. They were arrested before this, you know, and you listen to their demands and you try to find a way. Even you cannot stop the mining, at least you tell them, we're going to do this, you know, and do this, and enter a state of dialogue. But you cannot only respond when the damage has been done. You know, and this is what we are saying, you know.
Okay. Well, if you have a question, Omar, always you can come in.
Yeah, before going further, since the incident happened in Faraba Banta, have you visited this place, the village?
I personally haven't, but I'm part of a team. And that team visited 2 days before Barrow went there. This was Lamin C, Eso, Nyasi, and then you have Yafat Jadama. They were there. They went there 2 days before Barrow visited, and they had a fact-finding mission. There's actually a report that we could share that was there before Barrow himself went there. So when people say that, oh, you didn't go there, you're just using this. No, we are not. And let me make this clear even before I go further. People saying that we're not doing this protest for Faraba.
Yeah, because I saw something out from Faraba VDC saying not in our name.
Exactly. We are not doing it for them. We are doing it against, I mean, this could have been us at Occupy Westfield. This could have been the people at Gunjur. This could have been the people at Sanyang. This could have been the people, you know, it can be an innocent person. This is just an example of police brutality. You know, so what we are saying is that Faraba's incident was the last straw that broke the camel's back. That this is it. Fila warat doinak. You know, but we are not saying necessarily. We stand in solidarity with them. Yesterday, we had a minute of silence, and Faraba came up many times. Every speaker mentioned Faraba. But it's not necessarily about Faraba. It is not. So when people say, oh, these people, when they were laid to rest, did you go there? I mean, not to sound insensitive, but it's not an obligation for me to go there. I mourn with them. I stand with them. And what they did there is wrong. And I condemn it in the strongest possible terms. But is it an obligation as an activist for me to be there? You know, like the discourse that people are trying to invent any narrative that could help in sustaining the central argument. And the central argument is that don't protest. This whole talk about, oh, these Faraba people, they don't want to be there, why are you still doing this? All of this stuff, they know our argument. They know that we are not saying that we are doing this for Faraba solely. If you look at our flyer and everything, we said enough is enough of police brutality, environmental destruction, the indifference of government, corruption, you know, and a host of things. Our demands is like 10 demands.
You must be very tired. Did you sleep?
I slept like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have to wake up at 7.
Oh, wow.
But this is the thing, you know, the thing is that this country must realize something, that you cannot have a society of uniformity. You cannot have a society that is so scared of divergence and dissent. You know, when that happens, then you create a nation of zombies. And
if you know what everyone is going through right now in this country, I mean, everything you put out there, it has to be the way somebody wants it.
Yeah.
Everything you want to do has to be the way somebody wants it. If you don't do it their way, they come after you.
That's the problem.
But this is one thing, though. We all have to stay strong. Because the moment they try to move you and drift you to that side that you don't want to go, they want you to be, then that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we will always, in every struggle, you know, yesterday we didn't have a lot of numbers. We had maybe like 50 people, and everybody was like, you see, you called for protest, people didn't, you know, my central argument was, in every struggle, it never begins with everybody. There's always a few people who are crazy enough to understand that they want to do something like this. And eventually the people will jump on board. But we have to do this. Like, this protest was the one thing that had to happen. That we are saying, despite the threats, despite the reluctance of the government of the Gambia, despite everything, we are going to do this to show that we are committed to our ideals. We are committed to the ideals of a democracy, not as an aesthetic, not as a theoretical formulation, but as a reality that Gambians have to enjoy. You know, that this government has to respond to Gambians. If they had responded to all of these issues, all of this wouldn't have happened. You know, so, and this is how we're creating a dictatorship again. Whatever this government does, a majority of people on social media will accept it. Even when they don't accept it, they try to find a way, you know, to dog whistle around it, to waltz around it, you know. And we are saying that Barrow is an ordinary human being. He's an ordinary, everyday Gambian who was chosen by Gambians to lead them. He is not a mystical leader. And this mystification of leaders is what leads us into a dictatorship. And we've already started with that.
Yeah, it's very sad. I mean, it's very sad. Just like we were saying, the red carpet was unnecessary, and that's becoming a big issue. Because what we're saying, these people lost loved ones.
Yes.
Their sons die. I mean, you could have gone and said, just bring your prayer mat. Don't worry about all of this. I mean, that would bring you to the level of those people, and they would appreciate that more. But even to say that no, he's president, he cannot do this, it has to be red carpet. I mean, I think Gambian, somebody once said something on the Fatu Network, that time we were doing radio in America, he said, even if Barack Obama was to be president of Gambia, he would be a dictator.
Yes.
I think we're the ones who make our leaders become one.
I mean, every leader reflects their society.
Yes.
And no leader drops from the sky. A society that creates this narrative, this zeitgeist around a leader, that somehow, if you're not a dictator, you're a weak person. If you're not mystified, you're not a true leader. You hear things like, President Mobuka Neng. Yes, of course. You book have a President Mobuka Neng. Mobuka Moneng. And the other thing is, President Gino Leke Kanta. So he be kekule mimfala because Gino Fana Begambejan. So it Fana Kel Delgates. This type of things.
And someone is saying, if you talk, they said, you're looking for a job.
Yes. Or you are looking. You are seeking for attention. And I said this yesterday at the protest. Yes, we are attention seekers, but we are seeking the attention of the government of the Gambia. We are saying, listen to us. Of course, every protest is to seek attention, but whose attention are you seeking? That's what matters. We are seeking the attention of the Gambia, government of the Gambia, to say, listen to us. Listen to the young people of this country. A lot of young people die all the time. A lot of kids are dying of curable diseases. A lot of people are going through the back way. A lot of frustration is happening. There's a rising level of mental illness in this country. And unless we deal with this psychodynamics and the dynamics that causes these things, which is the poverty, which is the underdevelopment, the undereducation, unemployment and underemployment. These are the things we need to be thinking about. These are the things the government should be concentrating on. Not just creating an aesthetic around their leadership, not trying to beautify themselves. These are politicians. And this is what I want to tell Gambians. You are dealing with politicians. And politicians, more than anything else, even the most genuine of them, wants power. So there is an element of selfish interest in it. And even though I respect all these people, what I'm saying is that the Gambian people should understand that these governments come and go, but the masses of the people will always be here. Mm-hmm. And if you allow yourself to be downtrodden, to stay in these positions that you are kept in, and to accept your misery, and that's the saddest aspect of this country and the African continent at large, is that we are sort of addicted to misery. We sort of accept our misery. We sort of justify our misery. We sort of, we put ourselves in this box, and there's no other way that we feel like, this is what we know.
But what I'm saying is the same people when they feel that the president did something that they don't like, they will go after him.
Yes.
I mean, we've all seen that on social media.
Yeah.
When he does something that's not in their interest, they would jump and, say anything to him. But you can't say it. I can't say it. Maybe Omar can't say it.
Yes.
All they want us to do is to be clapping. Barrow, Barrow. That's what they want us to do.
Exactly.
And even Barrow himself, I don't think he wants that.
No.
Because that doesn't make sense. Every little thing you say over the weekend, Fatu Kamara, you don't like Barrow.
Yes.
I'm like, what reason? What reason do I have to hate someone I don't even know?
But
I don't even know the guy that well.
I mean, if Yahya Jammeh, when he came to power and he started something, and everybody said, nope, it's not happening.
Yeah.
He was never going to turn out like this.
Well, very unfortunate situation. If Omar don't have a question, this is very interesting what you're saying, and I can see a lot of people, some of them who were out, this Aliu, now they're like, wow, he's smart. So I think you should be talking, a lot more. And also, because it's all part of sensitization for our people to be sensitized. We definitely need that. If Gambians don't agree with you, they call you names.
Yeah.
They want only what they say. They want that to be what it is, and nobody else's opinion should be heard, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
If Omar don't have another question
yes,
for you.
another thing is, many consider you and your group as a rabble-rousers. And during the press conference, you said if the demands are not met, you are going to resort to a civil disobedience. You carry out the protest. Now, what next for you? Are you going to...
So we are releasing a statement today.
All right.
To further, remind people of our demands. This protest is just the opening ceremony of this struggle. It was supposed to be Occupy Westfield, but we saw what happened with that. This protest is to say, when you go to a conference and you have the opening remarks and the orientation, this is what this is. We continue our struggle in a very civil manner. Like we saw an example. Our protest was so peaceful that we collected every garbage that was left there. Yeah. So we came to set an example. We are setting a very high standard for Gambian political activism. We are saying that you can go higher than us, but don't go below us. Because we have to set standards, So apart from the protests, of course, we are going to strategize. We have to sit. Not one person will decide what should happen. That's not democracy. And we cannot call for democracy except we realize it within ourselves. So we're going to sit, and then we will be bringing out more stuff, and then we'll reach out to Faro Network to further popularize it.
Yeah, definitely. So you said we don't want another dictatorship. Do you think that we're drifting into that? Or that was just, you were just saying?
The thing is, we don't want another dictatorship. It's like when you say, for example, the people who got killed in Faraba, you say, we don't want no more killings. Doesn't mean some killings are going to happen. But we are saying that Gambians are traumatized. We are in a the fact those killings that happened at Faraba opened old wounds. Everybody's like, what? It happened again? This was something that we thought was going to die with Yahya Jammeh. But of course, Haruna Jatta died here. Nobody cared. We made a lot of noise, activists, but the government of the Gambia never really showed us that they cared. So, but what we are saying that we don't want to enter into another dictatorship. Dictatorships begin with indifference. They begin with silence. They begin with having leaders who are comfortable. And leaders shouldn't be comfortable. And when I say comfortable here, I'm not talking about their material conditions, but being comfortable with using power any way they want. Because when Barrow had to literally make a speech when there was so much noise on social media and other outlets, so that silence, that indifference, that forgottenness, that pushing out of the narrative of power belonging to the people, that's where dictatorship begins. And we don't want that. We want Barrow to succeed. Because if he succeeds, it doesn't mean that if Barrow fails, all of us fail.
Exactly.
We are all going to suffer. I live here, you live here, Omar lives here.
And let me just add this. I remember during the struggle, we were in the U.S. speaking from there. But you and Banky Gray Johnson and Killer Ace, you were very outspoken.
Yeah.
I think many a times I reached out to you and said, is this safe?
Yeah,
and I did that to Banky Gray Johnson as well. But all of a sudden, we are the group that hit Barrow.
And today they're saying, where were you? Like when they asked me that, I'm like, okay, I don't want to answer that because that's a very shameful position to be in.
Well, I guess Barrow has no group. That's why.
Yeah.
Some people will wait until you are successful and then they will come. So I guess that's that. But a lot of people are enjoying the conversation. We have to leave it here. Very interesting. Let us know. We would be inviting you again.
Okay.
Because it's really interesting. I can see a lot of good comments here, and it's good for sensitization too. So what would be your final word? Was that the end of protest, or maybe if it is necessary, you would do one again?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, the way things are going, the government is very responsive right now, which is a good thing. So we just want that momentum to keep up, that they are responding to the call of the masses of our people. But in the event that they fall back into that inertia, into that sort of indifference, we're going to come out in many ways. We might organize just a press conference.
Some were saying after your meeting with the vice president, you should just have, let everything go. Since what you wanted was for them to listen to you, and that you met with the vice president and the Lord Mayor for KMC, the secretary to cabinet. Yeah. They were saying that should have been enough.
Yeah, the thing is, what many people fail to understand, we went ahead with the protests to say that because we are in a peculiar state. If it was in a society where protests, for example, Dakar, where protest happens all the time, it would be easy to just say, listen, they meet with the president, the cabinet, and they assure them, and they'll be fine. But this is a society where literally people are telling you that you cannot protest, that protest is wrong. So we went out, and also to re-emphasize our points, that we have, how many times have we had meetings with government? How many times do concerned people go and have meetings with the government? Does that really change anything? It usually don't. So that's why we went an extra mile, and also to affirm our right to peaceful assembly. Because we have the right to protest whether the government responded to us or not. So it is a two-way street thing.
Well, thank you very much, Aliu. Very good comments here. Very smart boy. That's what they're saying. Aliu, the Gambian hero, and all of that. Well, thank you very much. We'll love to invite you again. And we apologize for yesterday. We couldn't cover the protest. I know we went through, on a lot of fire, a lot of attacks on social media. Someone was saying, oh, the Fatu Network didn't come. But definitely, and someone even said maybe they're favoring the government. So 1 point, we don't like Barrow. The next minute, we favor again. It definitely had nothing to do with that.
I mean, of course, the Faro Network has stood with Gambian activists for a long time. So, they say in Mandinka, if somebody greets you every day and one day passes and doesn't greet, you don't blame them. You know that they've forgotten.
We had other engagements that we
you guys came to the press conference alone.
That and we didn't have enough staff. That's why we couldn't cover it. But we shared the one by PTV. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Omar. We have a new segment that's coming up.
Yeah.
But yes, before that, do we take a break? Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll bring you the new segment. It's called Viewers Tube with Mariam.
Right. South Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our new estate located on the Sukuta Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate. At Dalaba Housing Estate, you get to enjoy bituminized roads, gated and fenced properties, solar street lights, water reticulation, public amenities, 1,500 fruit trees aligned in streets, and many more. Make a 40% down payment today and spread the balance conveniently for 10 years with GTBank, EcoBank, and Trust Bank. Terms and conditions apply. Wait, this is the best part. We are giving a discount on outright payments. For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 233. Better still, call us on mobile or via WhatsApp on +220 376 2333 or +220 776 2333. You can also visit our website on www.tafafricahomes.com. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global. Our focus is Africa.
Thank you very much, Fatu and Omar. This is Viewers Tube with Mariam Cisse. Earlier on today, Mayor Bensouda tweeted, he said, members of public in our development committee include architect and town planner Dr. Rodi Kohli, consultant Honorable Dominic Gomez, and civil engineer Sina Shams. Banka Mane also tweeted, on the other hand, he said, in bracket, Tungalistu with a question mark. This list is unsurprisingly getting long and wider across the continent. On behalf of the entire Gambia, I extend our sincere apology and condolences to all our African cousins affected by our ex-president's madness. We are sorry. Yunus Haidara also tweeted 22 minutes ago. He also said, thank you, President Barrow, for heeding to our call, sacking the Interior Minister and SIS Director. I had a feeling this Faraba incident will enlighten the new Barrow. We would want to see Mr. President's failure of this administration is not an option. On Facebook also, Gainako Online newspaper posted a video which stated Mr. Samate, one of the pioneers of ICOPS and a valuable asset of our community, explained how we end up losing our rental space for the mosques before completing our new project. Listen and hear from the people in the front line. Full video is on Facebook for more information. My Fatty also posted yesterday by 1:27 p.m. He said it was a great honor for me to join the other proud parents yesterday to grace the occasion of my son's graduation from high school. As a parent, I am passionate about the future of our youths. We will not succeed if we do not build the Gambia of their dreams. Thank you very much once again. This is Viva Stupid Mariam Cisse. You can follow us on Facebook with the same title. Thank you. Okay.
Well, we have an advert and then we will be back.
Thank you.
16 ans, ça a été quand même une longue attente.
Oui, et au moment de remettre le drapeau, vous leur avez dit quelque chose d'essentiel. Nous avons un passé, à vous de faire le présent.
Le football, c'est l'unité.
Absolument, tu as raison, Ferdinand. L'unité, c'est le pays, le Sénégal. Sénégal. Voilà pourquoi je souhaite que tout le monde soit uni dans ce soutien à l'équipe nationale.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the news review program here on the Fatu Network. That is a new segment. It is new, and she is new as well. So I'm sure in a few days' time or so, you would see that it will be better than she did today. She did excellent for her first day. I didn't do this well on my first day. I have to be, frank to you. I have to be serious. And everything starts somewhere, and she has the potential, and eventually it's going to come out. But thank you very much, Mariam. That's Viewers Tube with Mariam. She'll be looking at... I'm getting so many calls right now about these new developments. Now I don't even know if it's true or not, about the sacking of the Interior Minister and the what's the other? SIS
Director. Yes.
Yeah, what do you have for now, right now?
So what I heard was, according to people, he was the two of the Interior Minister and the SIS Director have been sacked, but it's not true. I spoke to several people there, but they could not confirm it to me. So as we speak now, Mbalo is still the Interior Minister, and so is the Director of SIS. So we did not get any official confirmation from anywhere. So put quite simply, they are still in their positions as we speak.
Okay, right. So it looks like we're having some breaking news. It's a new development. Let's just hold on. They were trying to reach me on the phone, but I couldn't pick, so I just sent them a text. And Omar, this is what it says, but let's just wait for to have the full information, and then we will announce it. But it looks like we have some breaking news coming in. But definitely about the Interior Minister and the SIS Director, we do not have anything confirmed right now. All we know is that the Interior Minister was at the National Assembly. I don't know if he still is there for question time. And some other people also told me, just like a few minutes before we start the show, that there could be a reshuffle. They're saying what could happen, so SIS could come to Interior and Mbalo could go to SIS. That's also something that I'm hearing. Like I said, we cannot confirm any of this. It's just information that we're getting. But while we wait on this other breaking news that's coming in right now, I can see they're typing. They will let us know this. Omar Wale. So we can knock on but if call ko nyadi. Kana silela. Kelo drone men.
Kanafo.
Afo.
Yalon tada bari bule on Saturday. So ngadingo ni mfatare nywana kabire dasa ma mono mi foka pare. Fa ba fala dingo ite man fellong na manke football al tolti. Ikejo kodo men na man fel. Ema anabi mol tolong, ema malaika ol tolong. So that was the push and pull. Lingwa fala hani bangalon. Hani man fellong. So afama kay ko saying anabi mi kilin to fo nyeba. Dingo nyin kay ko Firaon. So afama kay ko sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So silandu malo. Who is Jamala Fizada Jamati?
Akaya ko nyade akaya ka nyu atolo
akaya ko ima anabi mol tolo ima malaika ol tolo so dingo kaya ko ngakililo na akaya ko afonya akaya ko Firaon
Allah akbar
so Afamakaeko sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So malo jama dum fi hada jama hada dingo nimfa.
Yeah, wallahi be wata badi bule but yalon tol kana sila ni after fengo fen fole afoy. We go into the fengo fen for nobody bun call now get away with it because nasana umale. But the news, the information that we got, the breaking news is right here. There is a new Inspector General of Police. You all understand that the IGP resigned. Was it last week, right?
Last week, yeah.
He said his command responsibility that if it is said that it was his men that allegedly shot and killed those 3 people, he said the best thing to do is to resign. And we're now getting word that Alhaji Mahmoud Job, who was the deputy IG, is now the IGP. So the new IGP is Alhaji Mahmoud Job. He was the deputy IG. And AIG Abdoulaye Sanyang, you know him?
Yes, Abdoulaye Sanyang.
Who was the administration officer, is now DIG. So Abdoulaye Sanyang is now Deputy Inspector General of Police.
Yeah.
And who is this one?
Ibrahim Abba of Police and Planning.
Yes, is now
the administrative officer.
Okay.
Since they are all commissioners.
Okay, so now what happened is here is like they moved them around. They did not bring in anybody new at the police. Yeah. Alhaji Mahmoud Job is the deputy, who was the deputy IGP, is now the Inspector General of Police. His name is Alhaji Mahmoud Job. We will try to get you more information about him later. Abdoulaye Sanyang, who was the administrative officer, is now the Deputy Inspector General of Police. And AIG Ibrahim Abba, who was the planning, who was at the police planning, is now the administration officer. This is the information that we got here right now, Omar. Do you know Mahmoud Job?
Yes, I know him. We call it Commissioner Mahmoud Job. He was the head of the police training school in Yundum. And when the new administration came in, he took over as the deputy, and like Kinte was the head and he was the deputy. So when Kinte was removed, he stepped in as the deputy, the acting until this afternoon. Like you received the information now, he's the new Inspector General of Police. It's like they're moving people from, like Sanyang also have been there. You know, if you have been following the social media, people have been nominating, telling them, we want Mr. XYZ to be the IGP. And eventually they are all, there's no outsider. These are the people who have been in the system.
So do you think that's a good thing?
Yes,
because that would also motivate them.
Right.
Yes.
Commissioner Mahmoud Job has been in police for a very long time. And Sanyang as well, and Commissioner Ibrahim Abba was here at the, how do you call this place?
Where the Kairaba?
Kairaba, yes, Kairaba Station. Sure. These are all consummate police officers.
This job that someone said was the PTS?
Yes.
Well, that's the police
training school.
Okay, someone is saying that Sanyang is currently in Ivory Coast. He is not in the country at the moment. He is he's appointed the Deputy Inspector General of Police, and Sanyang is DIG. So it looks like this is confirmed now because we're getting it from 3 different places after we got the first one. So the new IGP is Mahmoud Job. He is the new police IGP. And also, Omar, it was interesting when we were asking them about the president, of who is the president of Gambia.
Most of them don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, somebody told me, I can't remember them, Singata, 4 weeks Singata Lemba.
Yeah.
But I think he was referring to the consular officer. This recently concluded parliamentary local government elections.
Yes.
That's what most shocked, but the smaller one told me.
Yes, it's a smaller one. The one who was, he's 11, right? Was it 9 years old? The one who is 9 was the one who knows. I think one is definitely Barrow has also been here less than 2 years, and I think he has not started a lot of the tours that he would do. I got word that he will start the Meet the Farmers. He would do a tour. Someone told us in July next month.
Right.
So hopefully, once he start going on tours like that, then the young people will get to see him in their village, and they will get to know who the president is.
Right. This reminds me of BBC Panorama program. When they went to North Korea in 2015 and they were interviewing, the presenter walked into the classroom and asked them, do you know Michael Jackson? They said, is he a president? So they didn't even know. So the other guy, when he interviewed, said, it is now I know that the people of America are different from the people of the United States.
So America, definitely, you don't even know. I mean, maybe I would not say, I should not say this, but myself, I didn't even know that our governor was Governor Nathan Deal until when I was about to leave Georgia. That was when I know who the name of the governor. Because most of the time, you don't have nothing to do with those people. Like, they know what they should do and they do their job. You have no reason to...
But that's common with Americans. When George Bush took over as the president, he said he did not know that General Pervez Musharraf was the president of Pakistan. when the former governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin, said he did not know that Africa is a continent, that Africa is just one country.
Okay.
So you can see how they view Africa, and some of them are not affair with world events and all things. So
yeah. Well, I think that's all that we have for today. We were supposed to have an interview, but it looks like we didn't have that interview. We didn't make that today. So hopefully it will come tomorrow, right?
Right.
We can schedule. We have two interviews that two high-profile interviews that we were supposed to bring them. Actually, three. Another person was supposed to come today, but they didn't make it. And also, before you go, your interview in Badibu, we were trying to find out who the protesters were. Who were these people protesting?
That is
because I saw someone going after us saying, you Fatu Network, you went over there and you interviewed those you want to interview and leave the other ones out.
No. We did not do that. We interviewed the Alcalo, we interviewed the chief, we interviewed the youth movement, borough movement, how do you call it? Movement for initiative development, whatever you call it. But we could not find the protesters. We toured the whole village, went to the Savo's house, we spent like an hour interview. From there we went to the Borough Youth Movement head office. From there we went back to the Alcalo's house. But whoever you asked, they said we don't know who the protesters or who protested here. So it was difficult for us because it doesn't make sense for us to go and interview and leave the other side. You have to bring all the sides together. So even you can see, that's why we just brought this the kids. Yeah, that was when we finished and we were trying to see, but we did not know who were the protesters, who protested against the Borough Youth Movement.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
The chief said he doesn't know.
He heard about it. The Alcalo said he heard about it. The youth movement also said similar thing.
Yeah, they said they don't know who they are. And the Borough Youth Movement, we had an interview with them, and that's also out there for you all to see. It was definitely a very great trip to Badibu. It was great, and we would like to do a lot of stuff like that, at least going around, not only in the Greater Banjul area, because there's a lot of news out there. So just one more time before we go, it has been announced that the IGP, the new IGP right now is Mr. Alaji Mahmoud Job. He's the IGP, and the Deputy Inspector General of Police is Abdullah Sanyang. He was Administration Officer, and now Ibrahim Abba, Police, the Planning and Administration Officer. He is now the Planning and Administration Officer. So someone said on here that it's going to be a big surprise if President Barrow let go of DG Sow. Trust me, as from Balo, he is on his way out to the Foreign Service with former IGP. Someone said that former IGP could go to the Foreign Service.
When you talk about former IGP, you have two former IGPs.
Okay, now the former IG, the recent one, Kinte.
Okay, Kinte, okay.
Yeah, who is the other former IG?
Oh,
that one is, yeah, long time ago. He's now advisor.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, someone sent a press release, and you were talking about what's his name again? The sheep issue. The guy that...
Yes, the sheep, yes.
I don't think I have the paper here. What was the name of the person? Do you have it?
Alaji Gay.
Okay.
He was accused of stealing 2 sheep and 2 children, something like that.
2 children.
Yeah, in Old Yundum. But when we did the findings, and we found out that it was not it was only 1 sheep. It was not 2, and he did not steal any children. That's what they told us. That's what the police PR confirmed. Some people send some message, Modu Gay rather. They were circulating messages on the social media, and his picture, he was tied up and the video is circulating. So they received a message from the mother, and I also spoke to the PRO, and PRO confirmed that he did not steal any child. And it was only 1 sheep. So that is the information we want to make clear here.
Yeah, I could remember that was when we were driving around we were going somewhere. We were going to interview Pamodu Bojang. When we saw a lot of people out there saying that someone stole a sheep and 2 children. And then we asked the police, they said, no, it was only a sheep. So the name of the person, that's the name that Omar just announced. There are people putting videos on social media saying that he stole 2 children. That definitely, the police say, no, that is not the case. That did not happen. And the people who were protesting about the price of bread, they just got back to us now with a press release, from the Office of the Trade, Industry and Employment. It has been brought to the attention of the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Employment and Regional Integration that the majority of retail outlets have reverted to selling bread at $7. So the people of Fajikunda, oh my God, these people love bread. They're so concerned. They want this price to go down. And after they went on a protest, it was kind of like a protest, and they met with the police. And then what happened after that? There was shortage of bread. No bread.
They are Kiangas protesting.
Yeah, the Fajikunda, no Kiangas in Fajikunda. It is the Fajikunda. One no, you borrow youth movement more full. I am with a full. Yeah, but I think that's all that we have for you today. Let me see this other message that's coming. He said, Sonko will not be advisor to the Interior Ministry anymore. This person said this. We don't know where this information is getting from. We cannot confirm it. It's coming from someone who wrote to us to say that Sonko will no longer be the advisor to the Ministry of Interior. We don't know where they got that from. But all we can confirm is that as we know, as we speak right now, the Minister for Interior is not removed yet. As of now, we don't know if it's going to happen in the next 2 minutes or 5 minutes, or it's going to take 5 years before he's removed. But all we can tell you is that he is not removed at the moment. He's at the office, and the SIS director is also at work. Someone told us that it could be a cabinet reshuffle where they will move SIS director to Interior and then move Interior to SIS. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Interior to there and this person to over there. I don't know. Well, that's all from us. Thank you very much for your time. I am Fatou Kamara.
And I'm Omar Wali.
And until we come your way again tomorrow, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow, inshallah. Thank you.
Africa Global is pleased to launch Dalaba Housing Estate. Dalaba Housing Estate is our newest estate located on the Sukuta Jabang Road. You can buy a finished 2 or 3 bedroom house or service plots accompanied with a free fence and gate. At Dalaba Housing Estate, you get to enjoy bituminized roads, gated and fenced properties, solar street lights, water reticulation, public amenities, 1,500 fruit trees aligned in streets, and many more. Make a 40% down payment today and spread the balance conveniently for 10 years with GTBank, EcoBank, and Trust Bank. Terms and conditions apply. Wait, this is the best part. We are giving a discount on outright payments. For more information and exceptional service, please call our office line on +220 4410 Better still, call us on mobile or via WhatsApp on +220 376 2333 or +220 776 2333. You can also visit our website on www.tafafricahomes.com. TAF Africa Global. Our experience is global. Our focus is Africa.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm going to replace my AfriCell 3G SIM card.
Why use a 3G SIM card when you have a 4G phone? Replace your 3G SIM card today for the real AfriCell 4G SIM and receive 1 GB of internet data for free.
Really?
Yes, get 1 GB for free just by replacing your SIM card at any AfriCell outlet with no loss of contact. The cost of bundle from the 3G SIM card is the same for the 4G SIM. And guess what? With the 4G SIM card, you can also connect to the 3G network as well.
This is so cool. I'll replace my 3G SIM card right away to the real 4G SIM and receive my very own 1 GB for free.
From AfriCell, it's always real and it's for free.
Where AfriCell goes, no one has the speed to follow.
Je suis très heureux de vous voir à l'occasion de la qualification de l'équipe nationale à la Coupe du Monde.
Oui.
Et 16 ans, ça a été quand même une longue attente.
Oui. Et au moment de remettre le drapeau, vous leur avez dit quelque chose d'essentiel. Nous avons un passé. À vous de faire le présent.
Le football, c'est l'unité.
Absolument, tu as raison, Ferdinand. L'unité, c'est le pays, le Sénégal. Sénégal, Sunugal. Voilà pourquoi je souhaite que tout le monde soit uni dans ce soutien à l'équipe nationale.